miss you so much. I miss you so much. Tell me, is this freedom, baby? Chasing after danger, making my heart race.
Good morning and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to give you my 5 top tips to regaining your motivation. So I've been a little bit MIA on my vlog lately. So I've been spending a lot of quality time with my family. I'm here in the beautiful New Zealand, and at the moment we are over in Waiheke Island. It's pretty stunning over here, but I honestly haven't been doing any adventuring. I've been eating a lot of junk food and just really bad quality food, and you can see it. This is why I'm so really hell-bent on my food these days, and I get really fussy with it, and I get a little bit, I guess you can say, annoyed if I'm not able to eat good quality food. I have literally become that person that nobody likes when it comes to food, and I'm checking labels over here, and then, you know, I'm just looking at it thinking, I can't eat this. I know it sounds crazy, right? But I picked up some oil the other day off the bench, and I was like, what kind of oil is this? So I turned around to have a look at the label. It had an anti-foaming agent in the oil. Anti-foaming agent. And I was like, guys, let's just eat real food. So yesterday we had a really nice barbecue lunch, which was great. I got to make the salads. It was fantastic. And this morning I had a salad, egg and avocado breakfast, which was really good to have. But today we're off for lunch. So anyway, onto my 5 top tips for how to regain your motivation. So this is for ladies, guys, block your ears if you don't want to hear period talk. I'm due for my period, and I said I was supposed to get it on the 26th, 27th or 28th. I still don't have it. I haven't really got any signs that it's going to make an appearance anytime soon. Last month it was a week and a half early, and this month it's looking like it's going to be late, which is kind of annoying because, you know, I've had quite a regular period for a while now, but because it's so up and down at the moment, I'm getting a little bit of side effects from that happening. So it hasn't happened for quite a while, but take me back about a year ago, I was getting a lot of pre-period depression, and this would happen for about a week or so. So my energy levels would drop really, really low. Then I'd slump down into no motivation, which would slump down into a little bit of depression. Period will come. Next day, I will just spike back up to a normal person. Now, I know a lot of women suffer from this. I have my own ways of pulling myself out of it, and this happened to me this week, which was really random because it hasn't happened again. And I lost all my motivation to do everything. I lost my motivation to vlog, to go exercising, to stay awake, to socialize. So last 2 days I have been in bed relaxing and trying to bring myself out of that. Today I feel incredible and I'm right and ready to go. So my 5 top tips for when this happens to me, or when I lose just general motivation in life, or I've, you know, overexerted my mental capacity and, you know, I just crash and I've burnt myself out and I lose motivation. These are my 5 top tips that I really like to implement into my life. Number 5, I'm quite sure a lot of you have heard this before, but just smile. Just walk around and smile. It's really funny. It sounds really simple and it sounds really silly, and it can feel really silly at first, but if you walk around and you smile, create a new energy within you, and you'll get energy bouncing back off the people that you're smiling to. So instead of walking down the street with a frown on your face or looking down at the ground, look up and smile at the people walking past you. If you're out by yourself, just smile, and you'll be really surprised at what energy comes back to you and what energy starts putting out. Tip number 4, get up and move. Whether this is exercise, whether it's walking, whether it's just, you know, strolling around the house, cleaning, just get up and move. Have you ever heard that saying, energy creates energy? So as soon as you start moving, you're going to build that energy up again. So move, so smile and start moving, and you should start to build a little bit more energy. If you still find that you're not building enough energy, then either go for a big sprint, go for a really long jog, and see how you feel after that. Tip number 3, music. music plays a really big part in my life, just because I like to utilize it to help change my mood, or to help, you know, enhance my mood, or just to make me feel really good. Like, I've always loved music. I'm a very creative person. I used to be a dancer, and I love moving my body to music. Like, it just makes me feel alive inside, and it gives me a really big sense of connection to myself as well. So I use music a lot when I need to pull myself out of a slump. Everyone is different. Someone might not be able to use music, or the music might help bring them further down. So you do need to try and, you know, trial and error with yourself and see how it works. So for me, I love to find a song that matches my mood, or matches my mood and gives me a little bit of motivation. So Major Lazer is a really good song. It's something that I love. I feel like it really builds my motivation up, this one, and it just connects with what I love in life. So I'll put my Major Lazer on and I'll start moving my body, or I'll put Major Lazer on and I'll sit there and I'll just get really into the music and just let my body relax and flow with it. Tip number 2. So this one is something that a lot of women, a lot of people don't actually allow themselves to do on a daily basis, and this can be what actually brings you down into your demotivation and your, you know, messy mumble jumbled mind, and, you know, your lack of life, loving life and stuff like that, and that is feeling. So allowing yourself to feel. So a lot of people like to suppress their emotions rather than let themselves feel what's going on. Even if you have negative emotions inside you, they're still okay. They're emotions, and we need to understand that they're not bad, and we shouldn't be pushing them away. So whenever you feel say upset or distraught or, you know, unhappy, instead of going no, I don't want to feel this, which is a suppression of your emotions, take a deep breath and say, I recognize how I feel, but I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm just going to let it flow through my body, and I'm going to sit here and feel it. Eventually it'll come up and it'll do its job, and then it'll pass and it'll go away. If we constantly say no, and we push and we push and we push and we push it down, pretend like you've got a big balloon inside your chest, right? And every time we say no and we push that down, we're expanding that balloon. And then eventually that balloon needs to release or pop or burst somehow. And a lot of the time it comes out in either random breakdowns, random bursts of crying, or some people can even have the opposite, where they just burst out in hysterical laughter and they can't contain themselves, and it's just the way that balloon is releasing. So to avoid that from happening, and to avoid demotivation through suppression of emotions, the best thing to do is just to sit there and feel. Go out in nature. Nature is a really good way to connect back to yourself. You know, we're on technology 24/7. You know, we're saying no to our emotions. We're focusing onto these screens. So putting your phone down, going for a walk, and just feeling the grass around you, feeling the breeze on your face, feeling your hair touch your chest or on your shoulders or on your arms, and just feeling those emotions, whether they're negative or positive. We cannot have one without the other. So we need to learn to feel. And once we learn to feel, you'll realize that it won't go so low each time, and you'll begin to bring your motivation up. Number 1. Now this is my absolute favorite, and I tell this to my girls sometimes as well, when I feel like, you know, if they're either really lacking in motivation, or, you know, if I'm lacking in motivation, this is my go-to. I did this yesterday and the day before. It can take 1 day, it can take 2 days, it can take 3, or it can take a whole week. And, you know, it just really depends on how high you want your motivation levels to be, or how quickly you can learn to pull yourself out of a demotivating slump. So the first thing you do is you feel. So we jumble all those ones that I just said, or some of them together, and we create a really big step. So the first thing to do is to feel. So yesterday I knew I was in a really low slump. I wasn't feeling great. I was quite distant from myself, I guess you could say. So I wasn't really here. So I let myself feel that. I laid on my bed and I just stared out my window, popped a bit of Netflix on, and I just felt, and I was just like, there's no point in trying to stop this right now, because if I try and stop this, then I'll just make myself feel worse. So I let myself feel that I was not feeling there. Then when I was ready, so this part can take a couple of days, you might need 2 to 3 days of just feeling and, letting those emotions come out before you can progress on to the next step. So the next step I did was I popped my music in my ears and I found the songs that really motivated me, and I took myself for a walk. And I went up and around, down to a cafe. I sat and had some lunch by myself, listening to some of my motivating music. Then I walked down and I sat on the beach and I just stopped and I just stayed in that present moment. So I took myself to the beach and I just embraced my surroundings. I had my music in my ears, the wind was blowing really strong on my face, and I just looked out into the ocean, to the boats around me, the mountains, the beautiful sky, and I just took in everything that was around me. I tried and see my present moment. From there, once I felt ready, so that I think I was there for about half an hour, just looking, just being with me and just looking. When I was ready, I got up and I went for a walk. I changed the song to a little bit of a high-paced motivational song, and then I went for a bit of a jog. Started smiling, and by the time I got up to my dad's Airbnb, I was right and ready to go. And the next step from there is to sit down and complete 3 tasks that you haven't finished. If you have an essay you haven't finished doing, if you needed to write notes down for a project you're doing, if there's a project that you haven't finished doing, if there's a drawing you need to complete, cleaning the house, washing your clothes, anything. This task can be anything. If it's something that's been left undone, the better, because then you're going to get a sense of accomplishment and then motivation on top of that. But you need to complete 3 tasks and you need to complete them 100%. By the time you've done your exercise and completed your first task, your motivation level should be here. Second task will bring you up to here. Third task, you should be like exploding with a sense of accomplishment and a sense of motivation. Have a good sleep and a good meal, and the next day you're right on track and ready to go. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I'm off to celebrate my stepmom's 60th birthday. My next vlog won't be live until the second day that I'm in Thailand. So guys, don't forget to press subscribe.
Babe, don't make a sound. 2 a.m. low, gotta keep it down. Don't wait around for a signal now. Give me some verb, I ain't talking now. You wanna ride in the 6, you wanna dine in the 6. But when I lean for the kiss, you said I'll probably send you some pics. And I'm like, hell nah, been waiting too long. Hell nah, I want that cruel love. Hell nah, been waiting too long.